Well, boy, was that fun, huh?
Yeah,
I knew
yeah, it
I said in
was.
the last episode, Ryan, that I loved May first, but this obviously has to be my favorite one out of them all, obviously, because it took place in Baltimore, Maryland today. The site for the, what was it, 146th? Yeah,
146.
146th Preakness
Right.
Stakes. Rombauer wins it. Congratulations to Rombauer and Company. And if I'm right, I think I'm right. Correct me if I'm wrong. That was the Rombauer's trainer, the first time ever for him winning the Preakness. I know it's special no matter if you keep stacking wins after wins after wins, Ryan, but I know it's something about that first win, isn't it? Just like it's something about that first Super Bowl, that first World Series, something about number one.
Right. Trainer Michael McCarthy, his first win, and especially his first win in a Triple Crown race with his horse Rombauer. Very emotional post race interview that they had right after the race. Pretty emotional. He talked about he wished his family was there so they could witness him, and be there with him to have this experience with him because it's so special to not only win your first horse race as a trainer, but to win it in a Triple Crown race, the Preakness Stakes in Baltimore has to be an amazing feeling. Congratulations.
So Rombauer Ryan came in as a what 11-1 favorite,
That's right. Yeah, 11-1.
11-1 favorite, and just by the skin of my teeth, if you will, the horse that was supposed to win this race came in third place. Um, we're not going to really get into a lot of details now, but Medina Spirit, we know what's surrounding the past 2 weeks. We never heard the end of it. You and I are still kind of doubtful on the news. So be it. I don't know if you changed your mind. I didn't. I'm not going to take the media side. I'm not taking Baffert's side. But the problem is that I'm having here. If Medina Spirit, you tell me if I'm wrong. If Medina Spirit would have came away with this win in Baltimore this evening, the next 3 weeks leading up to the Belmont, guess what we would have heard? The news. We would have heard about the illegal drug use off of Bob Baffert and Medina Spirit. Since Medina Spirit lost, Ryan, guess what? We're not hearing anything anymore.
Nothing. Yeah.
Do you understand, guys that watch this podcast? Do you not understand the trend here?
Yeah, and I think that's part of the reason why Bob Baffert didn't attend this race in Baltimore. He stayed at his home in California because he didn't want all the attention to be on him at the race, with all the attention being with the positive drug test in the horse. Yeah, I think if Medina Spirit would have won this race, I think you're right that we would have heard it for weeks and weeks after this race. You probably would have had articles coming out tonight about the drug test and
It might have been another positive. Who
it might
knows?
have been another
It
positive.
might
That's right.
have. Hey, the after the Kentucky Derby, it took about what a week, and that's I still seen that find that kind of funny. It took about a week, Ryan, for that news to come out, right?
Yeah.
Of Medina Spirit testing positive um, for banned substance use. So this time, Ryan, again, it took a week, about a week for the news to break. This time, if Medina Spirit would have came away with the win, we probably would have saw it released as early as you're right, tonight, tomorrow morning. Who knows? Who knows? Whoever wants to hop on the press first, the hot press, the hot heated press.
Yeah, and talking about the race a little bit more, Medina Spirit, I thought he actually had it. Him and Midnight Bourbon both neck and neck coming down
Yeah.
to the final turn.
Where did Rombauer come from? That's I'm
Yeah,
glad
he
you bring
came
that up.
he
Yeah,
came
because
from the
Ryan,
middle of the
talk
pack.
about. I'm glad, man. I'm glad you bring that up. Talk about how big, especially in horse racing, how big is that, Ryan? That last stretch. No matter if it's at Belmont, Kentucky Derby, the Preakness. I'm not too familiar with the lengths of how long each one of them are. I'm sure they're not the exact same lengths, but How big is that, Ryan? The final stretch of any horse race, as long as you are willing to keep your horse in the mix, in the pack, right? In the
Right.
packs, we like to call it. And that's what I went over with you in the last episode. As long as you're staying in, not in first, but second, third, fourth, what, maybe even fifth? But after fifth, highly doubt it.
Yeah.
How big is that final stretch, man? I mean, we saw it. Rombauer did it.
Yeah, he came from the middle of the pack, and that just goes to show you it's not all about, riding your horse to the max amount of speed the whole entire race. You got to save a little bit of
Save
that energy
exactly. Yeah.
until the final stretch, and then, you really start to see the jockeys start, really hammering down on the horse and making them go to the max speed, the max potential. And, man, they get to that max speed on the horse, and yeah, Rombauer just pretty much came out of nowhere on the outside of Midnight Bourbon and Medina Spirit, and he took it away from him.
Yeah, congratulations to jockey Flavian Pratt again. In a way, I'm now. Who would have ever thought I would have said this? With me donning my Justify. I don't know if you can see it, Rock. Can you see it on your screen?
Yeah, a
Me
little
with
bit,
me
a little bit.
donning me
Yeah,
donning my Justified champion T-shirt. The last time, so what? That was the last. That was the last champion, right? The last Triple Crown winner.
yeah, last Triple Crown in
2000 was it
2018, I believe.
2018? I have to look at my shirt just to make sure I have the right date. Um, Justify. So I never thought I would be saying this, Ryan, but if you can make any sense out of it, please go ahead. Um, I'm actually kind of glad that we won't be witnessing a Triple Crown this year. And I'm not wishing Bob Baffert any bad luck. No, no way. No, God forbid. But never wish anyone bad luck. But at the same time, man, it's mentally draining when you try to enjoy a sport and you're sitting back the whole week. We just talked about it. We would have been crashing with news for the next 3 weeks about illegal substance use by Bob Baffert's horse, Medina Spirit, if he would have won this race. It almost would have made the Belmont Stakes not even worth attending.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's not just a negative impact on Bob Baffert and all the assistant trainers that he has, but it's just a negative impact on the whole sport of horse racing to shine a negative light on positive drug tests out of a horse, especially coming from the greatest of all time and Bob Baffert, and to hear all of this news about positive drug tests in his horse is just such a negative light. And like you mentioned, it makes you not even want to watch the races that are upcoming because it just gets taken down by all of the news, the negative news surrounding the sport.
Well, and I don't know what your take is on this either. We heard during pregame speech about the now let's for the people that want to disagree with us and the people that are agreeing that Medina Spirit took a banned substance and that's why he won the Kentucky Derby. Okay, that's fine. If you want to believe it, believe it. But let's just go ahead and say, if that is true, if that is in fact true, why don't they why aren't we seeing, we need to see some type of change maybe in the sport of horse racing. And that's why I bring that up. And during pregame talk, what was it, Mike Tirico? Mike
Yeah.
Tirico's NBC's analyst, Mike Tirico, he brought up the fact, and I'm glad, no commissioner. There's no commissioner in horse racing. So who do you go to at the end of the day?
Yeah, I thought that was a fascinating point, and I'm really glad we both watched that in the pregame race. It is a very fascinating point because, like you mentioned, there's nobody to go to, and with every other sport, there's a commissioner that looks down on everything and makes sure everything's running the way it should be. And with horse racing, there's nobody to overlook everything, and there's nobody to go to. So maybe in the years upcoming, we'll see some candidates start coming up for commissioner of horse racing. I have no idea who those candidates might be, but yeah, I think there has to be a change if we start we start to see articles coming out after every big horse race about a positive drug test or a
Well, we're not
legal.
we're not at that point yet. So let's just,
Yeah. Yeah.
we're not at that point yet. But yeah,
Not yet.
if it's you're right, if it's more than just Bob Baffert, then something has to be
Yeah.
might have to be done. It might a different movement, a different movement to keep this sport, because a lot of people, man, they love it, placing their bets on these horses. Just saying how early these people arrive at the gates, every year. It only happens once a year
Yep. Once a
at,
year.
at every horse track.
Yeah, that's right. They're waiting all day. Really big money, and that's something that's
Yeah,
not taken lightly. When people place their bets, it's not taken lightly. They want their money back,
big
and
money, I tell you. I
especially
just hope, man. Look, I don't want to cut you off there. I was very we actually, you were close to watching this race with me. You just left a couple about an hour ago, and I just learned, you mentioned that, but I wasn't paying attention on the last episode. You said that Medina Spirit's owner, former owner, before
right.
Bob Baffert bought it. Bob Baffert bought this horse for what? How much? $1,000?
$1,000.
$1,000. And this horse is worth millions now.
Right.
So, man, I tell you, man, they aren't lying when they say sometimes life isn't fair, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. It's just
Well,
incredible.
I hope she got a little bit out of that anyway, out of that
Yeah.
Kentucky Derby winner.
Yeah. I would certainly hope
Uh,
so.
all right, looking ahead to the Belmont in 3 weeks. What is that? 3 weeks,
Yeah, I believe in 3 weeks.
Ryan.
Yeah.
It's going to get interesting again. Um, Medina Spirit, he's not out of it. He is not out of it. If he races in the Belmont, he's not out of it. It'll be very interesting to see if he can hang on there, because again, we were that close to witnessing another Triple Crown. You mentioned Medina Spirit had the lead going into the final leg of the track, and he lost. He ran out of gas early, but I would not be surprised to see him rise to the occasion again in New York in about 3 weeks. Although I have to mention, Ryan, I think that this track at the Belmont in New York, I think this is the longest out of the three.
Yeah, I believe you might be right. And another thing to keep in mind is how many other horses will Bob Baffert take to the Belmont in the
That's true.
upcoming weeks,
Will
because
he have participating? Because he had two today, didn't
he had Concert Tour, and Mike
he?
Smith was jockeying that horse. I actually thought
Oh
that horse
my!
might win with Mike Smith being one of the best jockeys. But
For the
he
Bob back. Go ahead, Ryan. I'm sorry. I'm just thinking to myself, for the Bob Baffert haters, what if we witness, next year, say like, what if you have first, second, and third place horses all by Bob Baffert, huh?
Yeah, that would be something.
Oh my.
No, but yeah, concert tour was coming up there in the very beginning, and it almost seemed like they had no energy from the start of the race and fell back.
Mhm.
He might have even finished last. I'm not really sure, but yeah, he was, I believe, favored third highest, and I believe he might have finished last. But that's something to keep in mind to see how many horses Bob Baffert will take to the Belmont.
Yeah. Well, that's it. That'll do it. On Listen Up, Ryan, and it might look like I'm a little bit tired. I know it was an early wake up call this morning. I had first class deputy Amber Owens on the show. She will be carrying the Special Olympics torch in January at the Olympics in Russia. First time ever. That's a once in a lifetime trip. First time for her ever. A lot of amazing facts about her that I learned this morning. A lot of amazing details about her. You had a sneak peek of that episode this morning, but don't tell anybody. Just keep it on the low for now. That's
Yeah,
going to be
no.
released sometime, hopefully next weekend.
Yeah,
Once
very
Sean,
excited for that one. Should be a good
that's
one.
good. Yeah, yes. And again, we want to thank her for coming on, and she wanted me to shout out to you.
Yeah, yeah, I can't wait for that video to come out. Make sure you guys are looking out for that when it comes out.
All right, Listen Up, presented by Dempsey Growing Sportsland. Ryan, I'm out.